I'm Insomniac.
I'm Pops.
And this is Shooting the Shit.
Oh,
I'm Insomniac.
and I'm Pops.
And this is Shooting the Shit.
a.k.a. Chatting with Pops.
Alright, so the first episode, which was a public episode, this is a patron exclusive episode. Hooray for everybody watching this, right? I said to vote for whether or not you like Shooting the Shit or Chatting with Pops better. And on the actual video, I actually got a few more votes for Chatting with Pops than I did for Shooting the Shit. Now on Patreon, I got more votes for Shooting the Shit than I did for Chatting with Pops. So what I'm doing is leaving the actual written title as you see it when the video pops up as Shooting the Shit, but it's officially going to be known as both. So we're going to introduce it as both, and I mean in the intro screen that I made from the very start, it says Shooting the Shit, a.k.a. Chatting with Pops, because I kind of saw this coming. So it's going to be called both, and thank you all for fucking participating is what I was trying to say. Is this straight?
You got your fucking face in there.
Alright, so like I said last week, the patrons get to pick the topics now, and Scott Gentry was picked for this week, and the topic was, what was your first job and how did it go? So I think we both have some interesting stories for that one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll let the, seniors start first.
Well, my first job was with, I use this loosely, a friend of mine, Pete. He was a guitar player in my band. And I worked at a place that his pop managed. It was called Harrison Supply in Harrison, New Jersey.
Shout out to Harrison, New Jersey. Don't ever go there.
Yeah. And so, you name it, we did it. I guess I was about 15, 16 when I started there, me and him. Started as a weekend thing, and we used to clean the boss's office. And his father used to give us like $25 each. That wasn't bad back in 1976, 77. And
that was like $1,000 a day.
So then we moved to, when summer came, we worked 6 days a week, and we moved to working on the plant, so to speak. And there was nothing we didn't do. We painted the cement trucks. Oh, what a fiasco that was.
Wait, hand-painted trucks?
Hand-painted cement trucks.
I guess it didn't have Mako back then.
No. And I could tell you a quick story about one time there was a strip bar across the street from, a go-go bar across the street from the place. And we're painting, the trucks were parked behind the strip bar, and we're painting that strip bar, and Pete...
No, you were painting the truck, weren't you? You weren't painting the go-go bar. Intermission. All right, keep continuing.
Oh, he needs a drink? Right, we were painting the cement trucks, and Pete didn't know how to drive a truck yet. He's a truck driver today. And he took it upon himself to play with the trucks, and the air brakes were not filled up. Well, guess what was happening? I'm on the back of the truck painting, the truck's heading for the go-go bar, and somehow it got enough air, and we just banged the side of the go-go bar. But if we would have went through and killed a bunch of strippers, wow.
Now that would have been an interesting outcome to that,
Yeah, that was, Pete was always screwing around. So, and then we would paint the buildings, anything. We did everything. We'd paint the buildings. That was right across from Top's Diner when it was a little place. And then we'd work in the yard. We'd clean the yard. We'd fill sandbags for cement. But that was my first job. It was pretty cool, except working with Pete was like a fiasco. And then...
You gonna see this?
Well, it's true. And one time, Pete, the story is that Marty fell in the Passaic River. But my take was that Pete pushed him in the Passaic River. He was working with us one day, his cousin.
That's on the internet forever now if you see this, Pete.
Yeah, God rest your soul, Marty. And he pushed him in the Passaic River. And this kid was about 300 pounds or more. So getting him out of the Passaic River was not fun. So, And
then, wait, we need to rewind because you said rest his soul, Marty. He didn't die in the Passaic River incident that he's blaming Pete on. Apparently he died later, so we're not blaming somebody for murder on camera.
No.
I'm just trying to rewind and clear that up real quick.
No.
All right.
So, I learned a lot of fun things there, but it was a job. I worked so hard that I bought my first car off my Uncle Frank, and he was an awesome guy, and he sold me my first car, and I made the money there on that first job. It was a 1970 Buick Electra 225.
Jeez.
Oh, What a ride.
That actually was a cool looking car.
It was a cool car. So, you know, that's my first job. I mean, I'm sure if I start thinking about it, there's 50 more stories I could tell of crazy things we did there. It was hard work, very, very hard work, actually. Truthfully, it was very, very hard work. We never really did anything that was easy. We were young. They made us work very hard. But, you know, I look back on it fondly, other than Pete Book being a fucking ball buster, because he was a fucking ball buster.
Now I extra hope Pete sees his face.
Yeah, well, but he was. And, you know, he was a ball buster when we worked. He was a ball buster when we played in the band. And that's the bottom line. So that's
Sounds
my
like
take.
Pete's a whole nother episode.
Oh, yeah,
Just
we
leave
should
this chair
do Pete.
blank.
Yeah, we should do Pete. But it was good. It was good, and I'm grateful that, you know, I had that experience. And I really was grateful to spend time with Pete's father, Dominic, like I keep bringing up. He was an awesome guy, great heart. What a great guy, you know. I definitely connected with him, and he was good to me. And his mother, Rosina, we'd come home from there every week, and she'd make sausage and peppers. Italian fucking sausage and peppers. Maron, I'm telling you, you want to talk about good, fangul. I mean, we'd come in, we'd sit down, out come the fresh Italian rolls, She made the best sausage and peppers. My mom and my aunt were pretty good too. But man, I couldn't wait to get there to eat the sausage and peppers. So, you know, and that was the end of the day all the time when we'd come home from work down there. You know.
So obviously your first job story was way cooler than mine, and also was a lot more fun.
Oh, it was all right. It was
Shout
good.
out to Glenn Fittich, 12-year, and the guy who sent it in. Thank you, Nathan
Look
Stewart.
at this shit. That's great.
And I made
And
it.
he made it.
All right.
He made it. Holy Christ.
My first job, I have a technical first job and an actual first job. I'm not going to bother with the actual first jobs because, as you know, I've been doing actual jobs since long before my first
me
job.
too.
I've done everything from, you know, landscaping and other side jobs. I worked in, you know, my uncle's bakery for a while they had it. I did all kinds of random shit. But then my first legitimate on-the-books job, because I just wanted something for saving up for a car in high school. When I was 15 years old, I started working at a McDonald's locally, which, as opposed to his job that he thinks on fondly, I don't fucking think of that job fondly at all. In fact, I would try to drive around the street that McDonald's was on for the whole first 5 years that I had my fucking license. That's how much I don't think fondly on that job. Now, here's the interesting thing about that. I was overqualified at 15 years old to work there.
True.
And
it's fucking true.
And this is it. This place is still there. It's on Broad Street in Bloomfield. Yeah. And the funny thing is, I was the only not Spanish person that worked there. And on top of that, I was about the only English-speaking person that worked there.
True.
And I actually did like most of my coworkers, so, you know, no knock to them. I can't remember one of their names, but here's the interesting thing. In the morning, it's old fucking guineas. Just old Italians come to
fucking guineas.
They come to get their senior discount.
Listen to this kid.
On everything. Hey, listen, I'm allowed to say that.
But it's true.
You know, I'm allowed to say that being where I came from. Now listen, these old motherfuckers came in there to get their senior discount on everything. They get their 65-cent pancakes. And their 45-cent coffees and shit.
My father did too, but he was down by it.
Well, I mean, listen, by the time I was working there and it caught on that there was a white kid who spoke English working there, I would be on register, which was fucking miserable. Everything there was miserable. But I'd be on register in the morning, and they would all line up behind me, behind my register all the way to the door. Meanwhile, there'd be 3 people next to me at registers, and they wouldn't get in one of those lines. They'd rather wait for their breakfast.
It's a true story.
For me to do it, which I didn't want to do the extra work, so it wasn't like I was happy about it. And, you know, everyone would be like, oh, next person over here. And they wouldn't go. So then they took me off a register and put me on window because they didn't want this.
So they all got in the drive-thru.
So yeah,
I remember this.
First of all, you had old people now in the drive-thru, which that's a scary thing because they shouldn't be driving shit.
True.
But then you also had people I'd talk to over the loudspeaker who would literally go, "Holy shit, you speak English?" And then they would come to the window and ask me what days I'm working because apparently they were only coming to McDonald's the days that I was going to be there. Not only did the job suck, but I wound up actually working more than everybody else because people only wanted to deal with me. So it wasn't really a benefit. That kind of sucked. Now, I'll give you a funny story. It involves this guy with that job. I brought my first paycheck home, which at the time I think was like $7.15 or something like that was the minimum wage, if I remember correctly. That's what. So anyway, I brought that check home. I showed it to my parents, and this guy was not happy. And he was like,
No, I wasn't.
"This is ridiculous.
It was.
You're not going to be making $7.15 an hour. You might as well quit the job or whatever." I was like, "Well, no, I need, if it's a first job, whatever." He marched in there,
Yeah, well.
found my manager, and he literally said, "He's not a Mexican. He's not going to work for these wages."
I probably did.
You did, and my manager was not Mexican, but she was of Latin descent. So I figured, great, here we go. I'm going into work the next day, and I'm fucking fired. Instead, I came in, she pulled me in the back, and even though I'd only been there for like 3 weeks, she goes, "Normally we don't do this, but I spoke to your father, and we're giving you a raise."
There you go.
How did you not fire me?
No, that's bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. You were having like a half a nervous breakdown in that stupid place.
I mean, I was, but no, it was not the fact that you wanted me to get a raise, but the fact that he said, "My son's not a Mexican. He's not gonna make."
I don't know. I don't remember saying it, but I know
you did to the manager.
All right, well, good. I mean, it was ridiculous.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's some story, huh? I got him a raise. It's a good story.
Yeah, see, his
Sons of
we have
bitches.
two different perspectives on that one. His perspective is he got me a raise. That's true. My perspective is he told the Spanish woman I worked for that I'm not a Mexican, so I deserve
But
more
you're
money.
not. And what the, nah, that's
I deserve
bullshit.
more money because $7.15 an hour was
Well,
insulting, not
yeah.
because I was not a Mexican. But
Well, it is insulting. The whole fucking thing is insulting.
McDonald's is insulting.
Yeah. But hey, you worked there. You did it. You did it for a while.
I did. I worked there for, I guess, maybe 6 or 7 months until I weaseled my way into another job, which would be like a 10-part series that we won't even talk about on camera at the music store.
Oh,
And
jeez, yeah.
I worked there from the time I was 16 till the time I
Let's
was in the
not
middle
talk
of
about
college.
that fucking place.
Yeah, we're not going to get into it,
Oh.
but I quit that McDonald's eventually to go do a much cooler job that had something to do with a passion I had. That's about all we got for the jobs.
Yeah.
I think this was actually a really good topic.
Yeah.
I like this,
It's
so
a
thank
good
you,
one.
Scott, and
Thanks.
everybody else watching this. Feel free, patrons, feel free to leave comments in this video and/or through Patreon. I'll ask the question again so we can figure out what topic you want us to do next week.
I want to end this topic and this segment on this note. I said earlier loosely that Pete loosely was a friend.
We're back to Pete.
Back to Pete. Because this guy, he had no fucking respect for me. And to this day, I should put my foot right in his fucking ass. Just want that to be said. And if you see this, Pete, I should put my fucking foot in your ass because you have no respect for me. You never did. So just let me end it on that fucking
Not the
note.
way I planned on ending this video, but there you go. And for everybody who's not Pete watching this, at least you got some amusement out of that.
Yeah, right.
So in the meantime, this was the second episode of Shooting the Shit. Third episode will be airing next week because we're doing this weekly now.
Yeah.
Thank you all very much. Feel free to leave your, like I said, look out for the question on Patreon. I'll ask it again. This way you can all leave suggestions. And the suggestions from last week that we didn't use, I'm still keeping those on the list. We're going to keep them all in rotation.
Right.
We'll try to get to as many of them as possible. Feel free to leave comments down below about your first jobs. We'd like to hear about that. That'll
Yeah.
be interesting. So
That'd be fun.
hopefully you enjoyed this, and we will see you at the third episode next week. That's it.
So he's Insomniac and I'm Pops. And we'll see you next time.
Okay. All right. Great.